Hey guys, what's going on? We got another PvP Enhancement Shaman video. We are back in the solo shuffle 2 weeks in a row, and we had some fun, although the wait time wasn't all that fun, but we were able to global some people, which is kind of funny because I didn't think that was still going to happen, but it still is. Now, it only happened a couple times, but it was still hilarious. But anyways, we are fighting an Assassination Rogue, a Havoc Demon Hunter, Ret Paladin, Disc Priest, and a Resto Druid. So you can see here they charged me, instantly popped my wall as the Demon Hunter popped his hunt, and we do a big old wombo combo and the Demon Hunter dies within the static totem. So yeah, it was a full-on global. It's kind of funny. I really like that. But anyways, on to the next match, and this one was a real one, not just a slap fest like that was. But we're fighting the Demon Hunter and the Paladin. So my main focus is kind of the Demon Hunter. I think the Demon Hunter is definitely going to take the most amount of damage, but I'm trying to follow my Assassination Rogue as much as possible while just hitting what I can see. You'll also notice that I miss a lot of interrupts, and by miss, I mean not even attempt to interrupt them. So as the games go on, you will notice that I slowly increase my interrupts, which is kind of sad. But I never went for a hack, which I think I could have, but I just wasn't really feeling it was going to be big. But anyways, we get Bop there, and then the Druid does a nice Cyclone on the Bop as I was trying to purge it. Unfortunately, the purge didn't get it off, but the Cyclone prevented him from getting healed. So I take a big load of damage here, so I go ahead and use Stone Bulwark, that way I can survive. We get a nice cheap shot, and then the barrier comes up, so I go ahead and knock the Demon Hunter. I want him out of that, see if I can't push him into a weird line of sight. There he is, and then I go ahead and lasso to kind of stop his CC on it, Druid, because it looked like he was going for it. There, Repentance right in my face. I actually hit the wrong interrupt. Which is kind of embarrassing, but it does happen. I meant to interrupt the Paladin, but I think I interrupted the Demon Hunter, which really sucked. Anyways, here the Druid goes and gets CC'd by a Hodge, so I'm getting ready to burrow if needed. That's why I'm making sure that I have globals just in case. Drop my counter strike, but they're doing a really good job at taking it out instantly, which is kind of terrifying. But it makes it so they're not hitting me, I guess. But here we get a huge amount of damage on the Demon Hunter. He dashes the wrong way, kind of putting his priest in a little bit of an awkward position. But there I finally used my second wall on his hunt. And now we're going to put a whole lot of pressure on them. You can see the Demon Hunter's going off into Narnia to CC the Druid, but I'm not really in danger. He's off into Narnia, so I go ahead, use Primordial Wave, Primordial Storm, get a huge amount of damage, and here he's going to Darkness, and the Paladin's going to rush over to the Darkness, because that's where they want to be, right? Makes sense. So Druid does a nice job and Cyclones the Demon Hunter, which is perfect. But also, the Paladin, I think, only has True Bubble. Yep, there it is. Divine Bubble, or whatever it's called. So now we're going to put all of our focus onto the Demon Hunter. Thankfully, my Static Totem hit him. I can't do anything about that rep, or at least I couldn't, so I didn't even bother. Have a Primordial Storm Doom Winds here. I send it, but unfortunately the Demon Hunter dodges with a dash, but he still falls over anyways, which is a bit unfortunate to the Assassination Rogue's dots. Yeah, Assassination Rogues are kind of disgusting with those dots, but it is what it is. So here we got another one. We're fighting the Ret and the Rogue. Quite a terrifying combo. Ret Paladins, dish out a immaculate amount of damage, and then Assassination Rogues are just always doing damage while keeping you slowed, CC'd, and all that sort of stuff. So unfortunately I couldn't interrupt that rep, so it was a bit crappy, but the priest was able to, I think, death it or get out of it somehow. I'm not sure, but here they put a lot of damage into me, so I go ahead and get out of that bubble. Boom. And priest gets blinded, so I go ahead and burrow. Now I see the Cyclone, so I have to take out, but I had to get out of burrow and interrupt, but I think I should have Stone Bulwark first and then possibly tried to survive that way. I'm not sure. I really don't know how I could have survived that better, to be honest. It was one or the other. I thought burrow, maybe it just burrowed much sooner. I don't know, but I saw the blind, so I burrowed, and it just ended up that way. But yeah, so now we're fighting the Demon Hunter and the Rogue. This one, this was a bit sketchy, to be honest, but they were just doing a significant amount of damage, but we don't have a Mortal Strike in this combo. We get a huge amount. There is the cheat death from the Rogue, So that means the rogue is very vulnerable right now. I also don't think he has evasion at the moment, so we can definitely take him out in some sort of opener. But you can just see we're rotting down quite slowly. I still have walls, so I go ahead and use it, but I'm quite low. And then the druid's trying to top me up, just slowly getting me up top. And then I try and do as much damage as possible. The rogue steps, but I think he ends up missing the interrupt. I'm not really sure, but we get a huge amount of damage. You know, pressure, boom. I get out of the smoke screen. The druid, I think, just popped tranquility, so I should be fine here. We get feared by the priest. The priest is not going for fears or any CC on the druid, which is kind of interesting. But at the same time, I don't blame him. When I'm a healer, I just like to heal rather than worry about the other healers' CC potential and stuff like that. But anyways, there's the barrier. So now I have to move out of the barrier, try and pull them out because they're just taking reduced damage. There's no point in hitting into that really. And you can also see that I'm not really interrupted. But here, I think I actually do get one of the interrupts on the penance. And no, I don't. Okay, that's sad. But we get a huge amount of damage onto the demon hunter. He's in quite the predicament. There's darkness. Boom. So now we can really take out either one of them. We get a huge primordial storm here. Get feared. Bit unfortunate. But the rogue is still falling over just ever so slowly, and thankfully he just finally falls over. It's just getting closer and closer to a lose point, which is quite scary. But here, this is I believe, I think I one tapped the rogue here, which is kind of funny. Yeah, this one. So he goes in, I get everything prepped, dogs, boom, primordial storm. He vanishes. I can't see him, so I just primordial storm, boom, global. It's like, what the heck? He died in stealth. This is a bit unfortunate, but here the rogue's AFK. I don't get it. Like, he's just he does come back, but like it's kind of unfortunate that he started AFK because we could have definitely had an advantage. But you know what? It is what it is. So we get a huge amount of damage here, starting off, trying to get as much as I can on whoever I can. So my main focus here is the demon hunter. I think I should have been mostly on the paladin. I think the paladin was definitely the better option. There I get the kick on the rep, so that way we don't have to deal with the priest and CC at all. And you can just see the paladin's just feels like he's taking no damage. I don't know. The druid's just doing so much healing, it's nuts. So we do a quick swap onto the demon hunter. He's topped off. Should have already swapped to the druid. It's just a second late on the blind, I think, and we could have had the paladin, but I think he ends up bubbling here anyways. Yep, there it is. So it's just a bit unfortunate. We could have forced the druid's trinket, but we couldn't quite get it. So here comes a rep from the paladin. Unfortunately, I think I missed the kick, giving him precog. So there's the war stomp. We both get stunned. There's the repentance. Sucks. So I go ahead and burrow. I see the priest come out. I should have sat the burrow a bit longer, I think, but definitely came out to try and CC them and stop them from comboing the CC. I see the tranquility, so I go in for the interrupt, get it. Here comes the searing glare, which is quite unfortunate. My rogue is trying to peel off and get a re-stealth, but it didn't quite work out. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Laters!